it has ended up at 260 pages of searchable information. You'll be able to just open that and search. It also includes the very start, instructions how to search this guide, how to log on to JSTOR, and Mike has covered that very well for us, and advice on searching. I'm going to give you a quick overview of just what is in there, and it is an overview. So the 77 journals are listed by volume and number, and then my team extracted out the editorials. You can imagine all the people over 37 years that have written articles and their names and their membership numbers, and then other people that are not members but wrote articles, found resources, surnames, and my goodness, talk about spellings, endless spellings and variations. So don't be thinking if you look up, you'll know this anyway, that if you're searching for one spelling of the surname, you might need to try it a few times. Locations is an interesting one because whenever I started out, I thought the NIFHS Society people would mainly be interested in the locations in Northern Ireland listed in the articles. But this wonderful team said, well, where did they go to in the world? So they said, let's have all the locations listed. So for me, as an example, the Northern Ireland one for the Moore family, which would be my family, would be Archstraw. But if I was looking for Archstraw, I know they went to Australia, and to Ballarat, and to Geelong. So those are also searchable, which makes it very, very rich. So it's worldwide locations rather than Irish locations. They also told me that they didn't like the name or the term townlands. So townlands have suddenly become locations, and they think that that is more friendly for them, rather than understanding. But we've put down all the places that we could find in the 77 journals. Resources, well, where will I start on the resources? They are just multiple, whether you're looking for military records or books or resources, unusual websites, websites that maybe companies have made, such as Guinness employees. And I'm looking to say thank you to Mike at this stage, because Mike, as editor before me, added a lot of very rich resources into the journals. And I bet you won't know them all. And if I was searching the journal someday on a wet afternoon, I would just scan the 260 pages and put in the word resources, and you will be quite amazed how many have been in there. Transcriptions, of course, we have a wonderful team led by Sandra Artis, who have been transcribing for many years and completed great resources on church records, burial records, etc. And those are often highlighted in the journal when new transcriptions have been completed. But you'd also look at the library list, and that will give you the up-to-date transcriptions. Then all the books, and our library bought many books. Some books were donated. Other people did book reviews, and I counted on those. There are over 320 are listed. It's a great way too of finding out the different branches and their history. So all the branch news are there, when they started, and the AGMs and outings that they've had. And then I'll explain a wee bit more about these pedigree charts. The last 55 pages of this guide, a gentleman found out that lots of people had lodged pedigree family charts at the Public Record Office, and over 4 articles he listed all the family names, and those are searchable. So I'm just going to give you a couple of examples as our time whizzes on. So if I've opened up the guide, I've got a PDF in front of me, and if I typed in simply, if I had the surname Templeton, and I type in Templeton, and it is now searching the 266 pages, and here comes where an article is listed. It shows me the journal, the volume number, and the year. and it was written by Elizabeth Cowie. And you can see that from that article, the team have extracted 5 surnames that are mentioned. And you can see now they've listed the locations that Templeton family were based around. There could be other Templetons, of course, in Ireland, but this gives you sort of focus for areas, so surnames and locations. So that was just by searching for surname, and there could be maybe 7 or other Templeton searches there. What about searching for those ancestral locations, like a little townland that you might be familiar with, might be quite hard to find, whereas Ballydown, fine. So just opening up the PDF again, searching Ballydown, fine. And this is a very full article. The gentleman won one of the competitions, the NIFHS does. I think you call him Alan Johnson. But you can see all the surnames that are listed that he wrote about right through, and then all the locations. And you can see a good example. Yes, Ballydown, fine, is there, okay. And it roughly tells us where it's at, sort of Ballymena direction. We've tried to put in counties to help you as well. But we also know that that family have moved in England, Boston, Massachusetts, and Canada. So there we have the suggestion of the team of including the locations where the people emigrated. So you can see it's look at the richness of the surnames connected to that one family all around Ballydown, fine. Another one, just to give you a little bit of a slant, is the surname Chesney. Now, I wouldn't like to be searching for this. I can imagine that there's loads of various spellings, Chesney. But if we do Chesney, actually, I think 7 results come up, but I just picked out a couple. But you can see already, the PDF has picked out Mac Chesney. So be prepared for that. And these are Spriggers in Donaghadee. You can see a whole selection. They were people who worked on white work for the linen industry, doing all the embroidery and bleaching, etc. And the locations, again, are listed from all of those people, probably quite poor people. So I imagine that that's quite an unusual find for 1901. This is what I'm telling you about the pedigree charts. So Chesney jumps up at the end of the guide, where there are 55 pages of pedigree charts. These pedigrees are all held in the Public Record Office, but Stanley Nesbitt did a grand job in 2006 because he extracted them, and I think we had a count in this is where Kate's husband PDF'd all those and stuck them into the back of the journal or into the back of the guide. And so we've now got them as a very searchable list. Great not to lose that. And we've 1,240 surnames. So if you were able to access Prony, these are where these different families have lodged their family tree information. They're deposited there. And with a little warning that it could be a brief reference to Chesney's and Annalong, or it could be a major work, boxes of the stuff that's left at the Public Record Office. So that's how, and if you were down there, you would record the D number, and that box would be given to you, and you could then look at it in more detail. But thanks to John, we didn't lose that information, and thanks to Stanley for putting 4 articles, which we've kind of pasted all together, and they're all in at the end of the guide. So just by putting in a surname, you could be fortunate enough to know that somebody somewhere lodged family papers. And that's just about 3 or 4 examples, which I think is probably enough for you today. If you find that at the top of your article, when you look at it on JSTOR, the membership number is there. So Elizabeth Crowey might have been B2019. And you might be thinking, well, how could I find out, is Elizabeth still a member? Well, you could email memment@nifh.org. You quote their name and their membership number. Make it easy for the membership secretary. They could look up our files and see if that member is still with us. However, some members may not still be there, but it's certainly worth a try and they will put you in touch. But you need to give them the details, your membership number, their membership number.